Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Chris and Tammy here. We are your host this morning. We have an hour session. And again, folks, it may not be actually an hour. It's a quick training, but it's a really important training. And we want to thank you for coming in here bright and early. And as many of you know, we started this back in January. And this is what we call a 90-day run. And what I want to do before we start the presentation here is I just want to point you as to where you can access the past training. Tammy, is there anything else that you would like to share before I go ahead and share the screen?
No, we're good. Let's get it started. I'm
Cool.
super excited when we start our months fresh.
Good. Okay, let's go ahead and start presentation. Okay, so what we want to do here, again, first of all, let me remind you, we are on the last month of the 90-day run. And the 90-day run is the kind of program that is a great way to get your business started off the ground. And we'll kind of get into this as we go through the training. But before we continue, I want to point you to the GVO YouTube channel, which is where all our God Backup presentation trainings in all languages are actually hosted. So let me just kind of copy this link. I'm going to put here into the comment for all of you. And I highly recommend that you click on this link right now or at least take note of it and make sure you bookmark it so you can go back there easily. Now, you'll notice here that I have the playlist highlighted. Okay. So if you click on this, it will actually point out to you the different groups that were created going back from, for example, the 90-day campaign this here in 2025, because we're going to be doing one every year to get you started. After that, throughout the year, we're going to follow up with some trainings on the best practices to using the software. I mean, folks, there's so much stuff that's coming about with God Backup. So we want to make sure we want to shed some light in some of those areas you may not even be aware of. But just back to the training segments here, you can see this is the live one that we're doing at the moment. And I really recommend that you go back if you're brand new or you have no idea what this is. Someone told you to come into this training on Saturday, and you were saying, well, what's the beginning of all this? What does he mean by certain things we're going to talk about? Understand that every single segments that are referenced into these trainings, they're all connected. They are all related. And this is the very first one when we launched the 90-day campaign. And then what you see here, when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, that was the month of January. Then the month of February, 1, 2, 3. This one was combined because one of the weekend we were not available. 4, so this is the month of February. Now we're starting the month of March. And folks, it's really important you understand the importance of what we're talking about here. Some of you really want to make a career out of this. Some of you you just want to play around, and that's totally cool. Maybe some of you just want to have access to the 6 terabytes, which is absolutely awesome. What we're showing you here is, okay, how can you actually make a career out of this? How can you help others free up their space on their phone? And at the same time, how can you create a business so you can live off? And the residual income that comes out of this business is absolutely wonderful. But it's not just going to come in because you pray for it or because it's not a bad thing to do. But you understand what I'm saying is you do need to put some action into it. Okay. So the fact here is when you look at, for example, here, the Success Cycle series, these are some modules that contain simply some basic trainings on, for example, prospecting, inviting, following up, third-party credibility, handling objections. These trainings, we consider this as what we call money-making activities. So I recommend that if you're new, you have no idea how to build a business like this, go through these. It's going to help you kind of initiate things for your business. And then you have here, for example, we have a African community does amazing presentation, folks. It's just beautiful. And I recommend you go and pay attention to those. We have here the training calls. These are all the calls that are hosted on the Saturdays. Okay, they're all here. Oh, sorry about that. Computer's responding a little slow. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's go back. So these are all the trainings that we've been hosting, for the past years, and they're all in the playlist. And they're not in the playlist; they're definitely part of the videos that are available. You can see here we have French presentations. We have here the Italian presentations. These are the presentation that we did on Friday, which, by the way, we still do, but we're doing this into a different group, a different YouTube channel, and because we're trying to add some personal things in there. And this is really generic, designed for the entire world of God Backup. And these are the Wednesday presentations, which are designed for the entire team of God Backup worldwide, that Tammy and I took over, so Joel can have the time to continue building and doing what he needs to do. And he's asked us to obviously, for him to come in as guest speaker, and he's definitely going to be coming in. In fact, I didn't ask him yet, but I'd like for him to come in this coming Wednesday as a guest speaker in our presentation. And folks, we do extremely well in this business, and the reason why we do well, folks, is because we're very consistent in doing what we're going to be sharing with you here today. So again, if you're brand new into this, we highly recommend for you to go back to the 90-day campaign. And don't beat yourself up in thinking, oh my God, I haven't done anything. Folks, it's totally okay. These trainings are recorded. You can actually take the 90-day and compress it into 30 days. So there's many things that you can do here. And we talk about that through all of these segments. I don't think we've missed anything through all of those segments that are there. Remember that you can move the cursor along to maybe focus on some areas that you want to focus more on. So today we're going to be talking about the scaling your success, but also the power of duplication, because we want to help you finishing the month strong. So again, this is how we started January, February, and March. Now for the rest of the year, folks, what we're going to be doing is different modules, different things. It's going to be some announcements. It's going to be some tools going to be introduced. Lots of exciting things. So, Tammy, I'm going to turn this over to you and to go ahead and share with this slide.
Yeah, and duplication is absolutely critical to go into success because you're one person, right? It's one person can't be everything, and if you have people that are on board with you, that are moving forward with you, that are bringing new people into the business, and those people are doing the same thing, getting their people on board, getting them trained, getting them bringing their first couple people, and that continues over and over and over, you'll see your organization is going to absolutely flourish. And what we find in the duplication system, the most important thing that we've learned over many years is simplicity. People are busy, and people need to have direction. And if they don't have direction, and they don't know that it's a simple process, often they disappear. And if you wonder why a lot of your people disappear, it's really important to get back to them and find out where they're at, where they're stuck, and how you can help move them forward. It's partnership, right? It's working together, and it's helping people overcome. It's developing people, because a lot of people come into our profession and they've never had any experience with business. A lot of them come from the job world, which is totally different. They need to be told what to do, number one. So obviously at the beginning, they need to be told what to do. They need to be directed. They need to be supported along the way. They need some high fives. They need some cheerleading as they're growing and doing the small steps. And when you do that with your organization, it's going to flourish. So you do need to have a system in place, and the system is already in place, you guys. It really is. If you go to the Success Cycle series, that's the system. And if you go to your back office and use this tool, and when you click on that link on the bottom, the extra information in every different language that's there right now, that's the system on setting up their devices. Everything is systematic. Systems are duplicatable. We're not duplicatable because we're all unique, right? And of course, people are going to like something that you do, and they're going to do the things that you're doing, which is great, but they're going to have their own style, so understand that when you guide people, you gotta plug them into systems. There's going to be a time where you need to step away for whatever emergency reason, or you go on vacation. If your business is growing when you're gone, that's a great sign that you've done a great job because you've taught your people to be system dependent, where they're duplicating systems. Okay, so you want to focus always on developing people. The more people you help develop, the more successful your business becomes. Often people think if they're the master recruiters, whoever signs up the most people, it's not about signing up the most people. It's great to sign up people, by the way. We encourage everybody to sign up as many people as they can along the way, because not everybody sticks, you guys. You got to understand that not everybody is going to work at the level that you're going to work or you're committed to. So that's why if you have many people, you'll find the ones that are totally committed.
I totally agree, Tammy. And so, folks, what's important here is in the call to action, and every slide we have a call to action. We highly recommend you take action on those things. Is focus on training leaders who will duplicate the success. And I want to point out to you here as we move on to the next slide here is how to train your team for maximum duplication. Well, let me explain to you very simple. What I'm going to do here, these slides are not even up. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and log into my account. And I'm going to show you what you want to duplicate immediately the moment that you enroll someone. Okay. Now, I know this morning my internet was really, really, really bad. And of course, it's not being friendly right now. I don't know what's going on, Tammy, in her condo, but it's just
It's been slow lately, yeah.
yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. I think we need to reboot our router, but obviously I can't do this at the moment. I was really hoping that this would come in. But when you log into your back office, there's one thing that you want people to do is you want them to actually download the software. And in fact, if you go to the YouTube channels over here, if I go under, for example, my playlists and I go back to my Saturday trainings, okay. So if I go here, you'll notice that there is a lot of trainings that are over here in reference to, let me just go back to one of them that I would recommend for you to look into. Mastering email marketing. This is a good training here, but what I want to do is unlocking a backup compensation plan. This is really awesome if you want to learn the compensation plan, but this is not what you want to duplicate right away. Okay, what you want to do is, let's see here, and we're going to start these trainings again as soon as we're done these the 90-day campaign.
The back office training.
Let's see here, foundation to success, downline benefits of the GBO plan, and how to use the email marketing. There was an interview. I probably passed.
No, these are old, Chris. Yeah, it's
I probably passed it.
yeah, yeah.
There is one that we actually show you,
And
and
you
also
can go
every
to-
presentations are there. Okay, so
Oh,
hopefully
there
maybe
we
that will be a bit better. Okay, so once I'm in, then at this point you'll be able to access the. Okay, I think we'll skip that for now because things are not user friendly for me at the moment. So what,
basically go to use this tool, and just below the download and the video of the Mac, how to set up the Mac, you're going to see a new link. For those of you who haven't checked, there's always new stuff. You have to go in and learn what's in there. And then when you click on that, it's going to bring up all the steps and in documented steps and videos on how to set up your devices. And it's in English, it's in French, it's in Spanish, it's in what other languages?
yeah, it's so good,
Russian
Tammy.
and
At the end
German.
of the day, people need visual, but the fact is, you want to make sure that you log into your back office, and you want to make sure that they download the software
Mhm.
on their computer and their cell phones. And if you go back to any of the presentations that any one of us do, and I know there's a comment here that Dr. Kiwi mentioned here, lots of leaders are ready to sacrifice and give the great nuggets. It's absolutely correct, right? People like him and many others are providing lots of information to support. But the
Mhm.
fact here, folks, is if you want to succeed and you want to duplicate the right model, is lead by example by first of all installing the software on your phone, installing the software on your computer. And when this happens, then you can show them how to effectively use the actual cloud. The fact that my entire computer is on the cloud, and then I can turn around through my cell phone, I can access all these wonderful files, and I don't have to have them on my phone. They are just a portal to access. When you show that to people, it builds the interest and the value of the software. So show your team exactly what to do and lead by example by doing it yourself. That's the model. This is how this works. This is how you build your business by doing it yourself, showing up for class, applying the installing the applications, showing them how the application works. Okay, and then number two is to mentor. Now, mentor, I don't mean that, again, there's different levels of mentorship here, but teach them how to do the process themselves. So it's important that when you walk them through the process, and that's why a lot of the trainings on there, and we do some fresh trainings on how to install the software, and all this stuff is available. We do them almost on every presentation that we do, but we'll do some Q&A sessions, and we'll interact with you and show you how to the best practices we have with the software. But make sure that they can do it themselves, that they're not just relying on you to do everything, because then you become the go-to person, and that is not a good place to be, especially as your team starts to grow. Okay, you also want to teach them to understand the compensation plan. Now, you don't need to understand the whole mechanic of it, but you should understand that you need to sponsor one person on your left, one person on your right. I think everybody can understand that pretty easily. And once this happens, you become a copper. And if you teach this model to others, what's going to happen is everybody who comes in bring two. You understand the two multiplication. When you start adding the numbers, there's no end on the growth. Everything multiplies. Now you got two people that are bringing each two. That's four. You understand the number, right? Multiply by two every day. What happens after a month or so? What's going on here, folks? This is how this works. But if you're not duplicating this process, like, for example, I want to congratulate all of you that are major recruiters. I mean, it's wonderful. It's amazing what you can do. But if you want to turn this into a mammoth salary, like a big income, it's when you make sure that the people you bring in can do what you just did. They don't have to do it at the same intensity you're doing it, but at least they can bring two. Folks, if everybody can bring two, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, it's crazy how big this becomes over time. Often I use the example of Dropbox with 700 million users. I keep using as a reference because I want people to visualize and see the big picture here. Imagine if your team starts growing. What's going to happen 5 to 10 years from now? This is not going to stop. And the software constantly evolve, constantly change. There's a lot of great ideas that are coming about with the AI technology out there to be able to sift through your pictures and duplicates, and we can go on and on and on about what's coming in the future. That's the beauty about technology and about software, is anything can evolve at any minute, and it's fast. So you want to mentor people and teach them to do it and duplicate it. And number three, it goes back to the point of multiplying, right? You want to multiply, empower them to train others, creating potential growth. So what you just did, you want to make sure that they can do, but not only they can do, but they can also teach others to do exactly what you did. So if you keep it simple, it's all in the simplicity. If you keep it simple, you will find that your business will keep growing. If your business does not grow, either you're not talking to anybody, or whatever you explain to them is way too complicated. There's way too much data, and I'm guilty of that. You got to simplify things, like significantly at the core. What is that? One on the left, one on the right. Don't worry about understanding the entire comp plan. As you get better and the income starts growing and you want to see bigger vision on your income possibilities, yeah, I highly recommend to fully understand the comp plan. But to get people started, don't teach the comp plan. Simply teach one on the left, one on the right. and repeat the process again and teach others to do the same. So the activity here I highly recommend for you to focus on is identify team members who is ready to set up and duplicate. So every single one of you have brought in people. Well, at least most of you might have. And if you didn't, that's all good. We're going to work on that. That's what these calls are all about. So many of you do have people in your downline, in your business. If they're not personal to you, they're spillover, that's not yours. You benefit from them, but it's someone above you. If you have a relationship with them, awesome. But my point in saying is identify those team members that is ready to get started and say, hey, listen, did you install the software? So this is your activity. Reach out to your downline and ask them if they've installed the software on their phone or their computer. And if there's issues, well, that's when we start working together and resolving them. Go back to your upline and go back with the team leader that you're working with and just interact with them. Listen, I'm having a hard time with this. My friend's having a hard time with that. There's a customer service in there to help you with all of these things. Folks, I assure you the software works without fault. The problem sometimes is different devices have different security features that are installed that you might not even be aware of. And because of that, it's possible the software is just waiting to do what it's supposed to do because it's waiting for permission and you just don't know. So that's why sometimes the customer service needs to be there to help you. There's a lot of things that we can do to solve this very quickly, but identify the people that are ready to install the software and the people that are ready to sponsor, one on the left, one on the right. If every one of you do that, I assure you, by next week, you're going to see growth into your business, which may obviously impact your income. Now, we're starting the month of March. It's a brand new month. So now you have an opportunity to start from where you left off in February and grow your business to increase your income as this grows.
So training people and maximizing duplication is all about teaching people how to do it, right? And having them teach others how to do it. Don't be that master leader that takes over and does everything. You will be exhausted. And trust us, we for years and years and years, we've learned a lot the hard way, and we've learned over the years to spot out the people who have the ability to step up and to be leaders, and then teach them how to, and then they teach their people how to, and then those people will do the same thing. They'll spot the core people in their organization that are willing to commit to teach people the simple basics. It's so simple, you guys. This is so simple. Anybody who's not doing anything with it, they're not focused on the fundamentals. It's so simple. For the 4 benchmarks, sign up, go get 2, and then go get 2 more, and then teach those people to get 2. And it's that copper machine that's growing and growing and growing. And as people are growing their coppers, they're going up in ranks. And that's what we need to oil that machine and teach everybody the simple basics. You know, we keep repeating this. And the reason we do it is because it's so important. And if you're not doing it, there's no growth in your organization. And if you want to grow, then you got to go out and teach people the simple stuff. You got to do it yourself first. If you're not doing the simple stuff, then you got to get back to the fundamental of doing the simple stuff of the 4 benchmarks and getting to gold. And then get your people on that track and getting to gold eventually by helping other people. That step-by-step scripts, work with them on what to say and what links they should send out to their people. Follow up with them. You got to give them assignments. If you're not giving your personal people assignments, first of all, they have to commit. You have to make sure that they're committed, because if they're not committed, your time is valuable. So is their time. But you need to value your time. If they're not committed to do this, love them where they're at and find somebody else that you can move them through the steps, and keep bringing new people in. And you'll see over time, that's gonna create a great flow. You continue bringing people in. And at the same time, those people that are coming in, you're going to spot the ones that are showing up to the trainings, that are participating in the trainings, like those of here that are doing all the comments and everything. You don't know how valuable this is for the people. seeing you do that, because some people don't even have the courage to write a comment. They're just going to sit back silent in these sessions. So thanks for what the value that you guys are bringing in this participating, because that is all part of it, right? So you want to make sure that they know what to say. If they don't know what to say, give them something to say. There's scripts. If you go back in the trainings, you're going to get things to say. If you go back to the Success Cycle series, you're going to get things to say on the prospecting process. What do I say when I'm prospecting somebody? What do I say on the invitation? What do I say on the follow-up? What do I say to get them to make that final decision? So this is all laid out for you. It's a system. And if your team members know about this system and you give them an assignment to go to the prospecting training, and you follow up with them on that, making sure that they're doing what they said they were going to do, right? That's part of the assignment, is commitment. And that's how you're going to move your people into confidence and building their belief in such a big level, and getting out there doing the actions, because they're not afraid to do it anymore, because they have direction now. Okay, so this is really, really important. Really, what we are is guides, right? We're guiding people through the steps, and everybody is going to be at a different level. So be organized. I think that's one thing that most people fail at, Chris, in this profession, is they don't have structure. You know who your people are. You're not taking care of everybody else's people. You're taking care of the people you sponsor. And then those people you sponsor get committed to the ones. If they quit, obviously it's common sense. You never want to leave anybody behind. But this is so important. Chris is going to share you the Success Cycle series, I believe.
Yeah.
And
In fact, I
that's
mean,
all laid out, you guys.
what I wanted to share here is you're referring into, what you say to someone when you first introduce them, what you say when you follow up. This is exactly what we talked about. This, you can see here. Um, let's see here. Session 1, taking the first step. We covered that in there. Let's see here. We talked about it, I believe, on this session here, the power of following up, right? So there's actually a script, and Tammy and I are actually simulating. I don't know why the words are not coming to my head right now. A role playing. We're actually role playing for you to see exactly how we handle it. And they're all in these modules. That's why I came over here, so you can see what Tammy was referring to about the Success Cycle series. This is it here. These are what we call the money making activities. Again, prospecting. What do you say to someone before you actually invite them to look at the information? What do you say to someone to invite them to come in, check a presentation on Wednesday evening or Friday afternoon or Thursday afternoon, evening, depending on what time zone you're in? Because I know in Ghana you do one, I think, on Thursday. Um, when I say Ghana, the presenter is in London, England, but he's Ghanaian. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. There's presentations in Italian. There's presentation Tuesday in Spanish. There's presentation in French also. So, folks, at the end of the day, these are all modules that are giving you the clues as to what to say to people. And that's what we're talking about. Step-by-step scripts, and we're actually showing you. So again, the call to action here is create a simple training plan for your new recruit. So what could that be for you? Well, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, make sure you install the software and understand that you need to sponsor one on the left, one on the right. After that, I recommend go through the trainings that we've done and pick one that you feel might be appropriate for the topic and send that over to them.
Prospecting.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
And they
that
need to
way,
know the 4 benchmarks.
and that way you have your actual plan,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have your plan. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. Just think about the goal and the outcome that you want, and then focus your training towards that. Anything else you want to add, Tammy, before we change slides?
No, I think we've said it all on this session. Is on this slide is leverage what's available, you guys. You don't have to be the presenter. You really don't. Chris and I, when we learned at the beginning, we would plug people into everything possible so we could focus on building our foundation. And every time we did that, people started to elevate their skill set. They started to elevate their postures, and people started to show up more. If you're not giving people the guideline and the direction, and that you really care about them, that's so important. People need to know how much you really want them to succeed. And then as you start to develop leaders, which Chris is going to share, let them spread their wings. Don't be that person that's constantly on them. Let them grow in their leadership and develop their own leaders. And that is what a true leader does.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Tammy. And if you recall last week, and you'll find that some things that we're repeating, folks, this is by design. People, we are creatures of habits. And the more we hear something or see something, the more our behavior is going to be leaning towards what we focus on, what we see the most. So there is a reason why we repeat certain things. And last week we talked about the importance of having leadership within your business. I know for some of you, it may not be something that you see of value because maybe God backup may not be a priority to you. And that's totally fine. Maybe for you, it's just a tool. And if you can make a bit of money to pay for your service and extra money to maybe apply against your mortgage or things like that, that's totally cool, right? Tammy and I have a different goal because we make a living out of this. So for us, there's obviously a much different level of intensity. So I'm trying to reach out to every one of you, to all extremes, for the most modest and to the most, with the vision that wants to get big goals and big things happening. So this here is very important. The topic of leadership is focus on the leadership growth, not just the signups. It's okay to sign people up. In fact, let me rephrase that. It's critical to sign people up. Without new people, without new fresh blood, there is no blood flowing. If there's no blood flowing, the organ will not survive. You understand? So we do need constantly new people. That is happening all the time. But then among a lot of these folks, some of them just rise to the top. These are your leaders. And when you identify a leader within your sponsorship team, okay, or even your binary, depending on how your leadership skills are. My point is, once you start let me rephrase that. When people start coming into your business, you need to identify those people. Why is that important? Because some of you probably have seen that. Maybe some of you have been in network marketing for years. Maybe some of you have seen some massive checks, and suddenly you've seen your checks going down. Why is this happening? Well, what's happening is like the bell curve. So what happens when you get into momentum, there's consolidation at the bottom, and then suddenly, whoop, you get into momentum. When you get into momentum, there's a lot of excitement. And this excitement is driving the business, the momentum, the income, and everything else. Okay. And then eventually, like everything else, people get bored. It's just the way people are. We get bored. So if we keep hearing the same thing, seeing the same thing, we stop pushing forward. So we always need that new carrot, that new thing, that new shiny toy that we need to chase to keep us motivated, right? That's why there's constant contests and things like this. But at the end of the day, those of you that understand the vision, that don't need external motivation every day to stay forward, to stay motivated, those of you are leaders. And the leaders are the people that keeps driving excitement, driving momentum, motivating people to understand the big picture. These are your leaders. So when you get into momentum, this is the reality of network marketing. If you have enough leaders, so let's say that your momentum is, I'm going to use my left hand as my momentum. So this is your momentum, okay? But your leadership is down here. That's what you got. What's going to happen when people get bored and momentum slows down? Well, it goes down. And wherever the leader ends or begins, That's when that curve will stop. And from there, it will merge and you will follow each other until the next momentum wave. That's the reality in network marketing. That's why some of us make a living and do very well with it, and others are struggling, constantly chasing the dollar. Because what's missing in your daily activities as a leader is you're not duplicating yourself. You need leaders. And you can't force someone to become a leader, because leaders, it has to be self-motivated. But they are there, I'm telling you. And if you identify them and you focused on them, then you're increasing the amount of leaders. And these leaders are the people who present. These are the people who have WhatsApp and Telegram group, Facebook Messenger group. These are the people that are trainings, that are constantly out there offering services, offering help. These are leaders. And the more of that you got into your organization, the stronger your team will stand. So when momentum slows down, it'll stop wherever the leader happens to be. So if you got some good leadership that are growing with the momentum, in other words, the momentum is driven by leaders, not by an external something that was just introduced, maybe by the company for a month or so, but it's actually invested by the people that are driving this momentum, and the leadership is growing with you, then the momentum is growing and growing and growing. Those of you are going to be very rich, very wealthy in this business, because the leaders are going to deal against the dream stealers. They're going to deal about folks that are coming in there to try to sabotage everything. The people that are popping into your presentation that are saying negative things just because they have an agenda. They're trying to distract the rest of the herd. The leaders are going to control that, and you're going to motivate that. This is how you grow a very stable organization. It doesn't matter what company you're with. It doesn't matter what product you're with. I'm telling you, when you got good leadership, you are invincible. That's why I'm talking about this topic over here. So focus on leading growth, not just signing up. Train your team to handle objections and teach them the system we just talked about earlier. So the fact is, handling objections. We have a really good training over here on handling objections. Highly recommend it. And there's other trainings that Tammy and I are always are focusing on, because handling objections, it's a huge module that is so powerful. It's a huge module that is so powerful to help keep people engaged and handling some of the fears and the discomfort they may come across. And encourage accountability partners within your team. Now, I know, Tammy, there's a lot of comments. I'm missing a lot of stuff there. Feel free to.
Yeah, I'm following the comments as you're doing this, and
I see going in, but I'm kind of.
I have to tell you that you guys are so amazing, Dr. KOA and Esther, and I see also a couple of you really handling these, Philip. Helping people to understand that are having questions. This is phenomenal, and just adding more value. You have no idea how important this is.
Yeah, it certainly is
for your team members to see, and for everybody else too. And I noticed that Pamela, you were saying that I'm a beginner, please. And that's how important it is for you to see this on leadership.
Correct.
I wish that we would have learned this stuff at the beginning. We probably wouldn't have made all the mistakes that we made.
Oh my God. Yeah,
oh my God.
This is so great.
We're giving you guys the roadmap of, it took us years to learn how to keep this simple. It took us years to really focus on developing people and not just go out there and sign people up.
Tammy, I want to focus on something. Pamela, when I understand your point of view, and it's totally clear, we're not trying to print out you, because I know a lot of folks may feel the same way.
Yeah, there's new people that are just getting started.
Into a cage and thinking, well, I'm a beginner. I can't do much. That is not true. What Tammy just said earlier is very important.
Mm-hmm.
We are explaining to you your future, what things have to look like. You're talking to folks that have made a lot of money in this business. And I'm not saying this to brag. It's just the way, this is what we've accomplished. There's no shame into it. That's what we've done. But the reason we've accomplished that is because we've learned all of these things. And I wish someone would have told me that when I started at the beginning.
Mastering simplicity.
Oh my God. I wish, because there's so many people that I'm thinking about could have became these leaders I'm referring to that could have changed things. And instead of taking me 4 years to make something worth my while, it would have taken me maybe 6 months to 9 months.
Yeah.
You see what I'm telling you? So don't be intimidated by the information we're sharing with you here. And I'm sharing with you here, Pamela, because it's not just you that may feel that way. There might be others. Folks, this is it. This is important that you understand. This is the reason why there's folks that are making a really good income with this. And I understand it's not all about the money, folks, but let's face it. Money ranks right up there with oxygen,
Hmm.
especially in today's economy and what's going on. We want to help you live the life that you want to live, not the life that you have to live. You understand? We know what you're capable of, and we're just trying to transcend the information for you to get there. I'm talking everyone here, folks. So
Yeah.
the last point here is encourage
Everybody
accountability
has the
partnership
ability to be
within
a
your
leader.
team.
Oh, go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Chris.
Tammy.
I was just saying everybody has the ability to be a leader. It just follow the basic fundamentals and keep everything simple, and you'll evolve in such a big way.
Yeah, it's
Go
absolutely
ahead.
correct. So one thing that's important is encourage accountability partnership with your team. This is another way that you can breed someone to reach their full potential as a leader. Do you understand? This is how this works. So again, identify one team member to mentor into your leadership this week, even if we're brand new. Maybe someone is really gun ho right now in your team, maybe more than you are. Identify these folks and point them in the
Mhm.
right direction by maybe watching certain video that you think might help out. Every videos that we've done, every trainings and webcasts that we've done here for the past, almost we're going to the third month right now, for the past 2 months, they all contain elements like we're talking about right now. And there's different levels of information that can help you. So don't be intimidated by the big picture and the big vision, folks. Simply see that as a learning opportunity that you can grow into in the future if this is what you desire. And again, if it's just to use the software, by all means. And in fact, as soon as we're done the March session, and I know at the end of the month is going to be an event in Dallas in the office. I know Tammy and I are planning to go um, to Texas. Excuse me, not Dallas, but to Texas. In fact, in the state Texas,
Sure, it's
to go to the
sure it's
office
Texas.
and go right into spend time with Joel and Eve and Mike and uh, actually see the server and everything else. We'll take some lives and we'll do lots of fun there. But the fact is, we're planning to be there on the last Saturday, I believe it's going to be of the month of March. So this is how we're going to finish the year, or I should say the year, the 90-day run. Okay. So again, activity here, folks. Identify team members that you see as potential leaders. So when you get into momentum, you can maintain that growth that you've reached. That is so, so, so important. So as we end, Tammy, back to you.
Yeah, so the mission of the week is to identify, and some of you are not here yet, but write this stuff down because as you start developing your teams, you'll want to be doing this stuff. Okay, so identify 1 to 2 team members to start duplicating your success. Somebody who hasn't ignited yet that you could get them on the right track, that you could move them forward, that you could inspire them, you could find out what their goals are, how much time are they willing to give it to get to whatever rank that they want to hit, and guide them in the process. Okay, with system driven trainings, so it helps them, and at the same time, it frees up your time to be able to also bring new people into the business. So systems are just so important, and teach your team how to train others effectively. Once they get started and they start developing their foundation, really it's just duplicating exactly what you did with them. So people are going to do what you do, not what you tell them to do, right? So they're watching you do it with them, and they're going to know, okay, well, this is what I need to do. I'm getting results. I'm super excited. I got to get this person started right. Okay, so working with your team members, and don't get distracted. Okay, that's the big thing. Distractions, there's full of distractions out there, full of distractions out there, more and more and more. Get focused on the people that you brought in, and see where they're at and find out what's missing and guide them in the process and get them started right if they've never got started right yet. Doesn't matter if they've been in for a year or they just started today. These are your goals of the week. It could be more than one or two people. Okay. But, and if you don't have anybody yet, go back to the very first training on this 90-day program. And that's all about getting new people. That's what it's all about, getting new people, getting new people. The second month goes more into, well, let's get those people started right. And that's why we're in this final month run of the 90-day program. But you can start at any level. That's the best part. And you can do this program after the program's done. If you didn't do it fully and you weren't ready, you can say, okay, that's it. I'm going to work with 5 people that are committed, and we're going to do a 90-day run together from April to April, May, June. Okay, that could be the 90-day run that you're going to do with your brand new people. So this is all planned in strategy. Okay, and track everything that you're doing with your people. You got to be organized. You got to track this stuff. Okay, a lot of the time, new people don't track things. So sometimes you have to bring them back to the basics because they're all over their map or they got distracted with this and they got, and sometimes you just got to bring them back to the fundamentals, the simple basics. Okay, so ensure at least one team member successfully duplicates the process this week. That's your goal. Okay, and you got to set these goals every single week. Every single month, you have to set goals of what you're going to accomplish. How many new team members are going to be in your organization? Look at the graph of the ranks and know what each rank, what's the next rank? What do you need to do to get to the next rank? Okay, and then you need to focus on the people. And then you need to get new people to add to that because you all know that new people are the most excited people that come into this business. It's the new people. Sometimes people get stagnant. Sometimes people get distracted. It's the new people that will bring a lot of new business. But you do have to get back to the team members as well.
I totally agree. So, in closing here, folks, on the last slide here is let's recap. First of all, month one in the trainings that we've done, these were all the introductory, initial conversation, initial recruitment. And the month two, we focused more on the follow up. And we ended within, okay, what it is that you need to duplicate. What is a system? But now on the last month, it's really, we're going to revise all of this. But now we're saying, okay, what are you duplicating? Who are you training to duplicate what you do? So duplication is key for massive growth and long-term success. This is when I talk about the curve, right? You don't want to have that bell curve. You want to stay up. It's normal to go down a little bit, but you don't want to go down all the way down. So you're and that again is the level of leadership that you have that will determine how far down this is going to get. If there's, if you stop the pushing of and the recruiting activities, right? What I mean is you never really stop. What I'm saying is it's like the plane, right? You take off. That's what the 90-day run is all about. This is the takeoff. Now we're up in the air and now we're trying to stay stabilized to get to our destination. So we're maintaining it. So now in the third month, we're maintaining it until we get to our destination. So duplication is absolutely key. And we told you what to duplicate. Install the software and make sure there's one on the left, one on the right. That's what you want to duplicate at a core. After that, as you get more and more involved, then you can get into the money-making activities and duplicating those things by starting to follow it if you've never done this or create your own. Train your team using simple, repeatable system. And that's the point. God Backup is a very simple business. They have our links in there. You don't have to turn around and hire people to create a website, to create all these affiliate things. It's all there in your back office. The moment you sign up, from the minute you're enrolled, it's available to you. You even have a 7-day free trial that people can try. They install this, they can install the software on their phone and their computer. Boom, it's done. And now within 7 days they can activate, which I personally would do that within the second or third day. I would activate them. That's the way I do things. And then focus on the leadership development, which is to ensure sustainability. Again, I don't want to re-explain, but you understand it's very important. It's the leaders. Why? Because the leaders present, train, motivate, educate. That's what's important. And the leaders tends to be the one with the bigger paychecks. You'll find that the people that are mostly commenting to today in these trainings are the higher income streams, higher pin ranks. It's really interesting, but that's usually the way it works. And why? It's because they're creating this duplicated leadership that are maintaining and also pushing with you. So instead of being the only person trying to lift that big ball rolling over the cliff, now there's two of you, there's three of you. Eventually becomes so easy. And eventually you get into the top and then you get into momentum, right? So the fact is, build leaders, create system, and let duplication multiply your success. And the system is already created, folks. It's all there. And I recommend that you watch the compensation plan training, how to maximize. I forgot how I titled it. Maybe I can go back there and just kind of show it to you very quickly here. I think it's important that we go back here. If you go back on the Saturday trainings, team call, and one of them happens to be, it's a really, really good one. Let's go back down to see, by the way, these are how to recruit 10 people within your first 30 days. These are trainings that we've done in the past, which are absolutely awesome. Handling objection is here. Okay, this is, here we go. Unlocking the gut backup compensation plan with Chris and Tammy. This one is a good one. We go through the actual PDF that's available in your back office. And we are literally going step by step explaining you the comp plan. And everybody that I have trained that I went through this have been able to answer, I would say, most of their questions. And if there isn't, then we do a session and we'd explain the areas that are missing. Okay. So really, really important here, folks. So at the end of the day, as we close here, folks, that's the end of our session. We're here to help you. And if you feel a little bit overwhelmed because maybe Tammy and I are at a different level in building our business, don't look at this as it's too much for me. Look at this as, okay, this is what I look forward to learn. The good news, as you recall, as you saw, all these trainings are recorded. They are there available to you. And as we begin the month of April, we want to start doing some Q&A sessions again, back into learning the software, what are the best practices in your back office, where everything is. We'll go back to the email. There's a lot of things that I've learned even recently that I didn't realize. Booking my emails in advance and all of these things, we can walk you through all of that. So this is what we look forward to share. So Tammy, as we end, do you have any words you want to share?
Yeah, just start with the simplicity and you'll grow from there. And take a step at a time. Give yourself a pat on the back, and you need to be celebrated along the way. That's what's really, really important. And that's what leadership recognizes. So, yeah, celebrate yourself. And if you have, because, let's face it, there's some people who join the business and somebody will sign them up and they disappear. Don't worry about that. Chris and I never really had uplines. Would you believe that?
I wish.
We never really had uplines. Most of the success that we've learned because we invested in ourselves. We flew to another country. We did 3-day seminars. We paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to learn what you're learning right now. And we've made probably every mistake that you've come across. We've probably done it more than once. And that's how we've learned from the beginning. And we finally have formulas, and we finally learned and worked systems that has been so duplicatable for many, many years, not just got back up. We're talking years of duplication because we had our formula down pat. And anybody who follows and follows the guidelines of this, you're going to see your organization grow. If you do the work and you follow the system, you will succeed. You will. So go back to the basics. If you're not where you want to be, go back to the basics. Chris and I had to go back to the basics so many times.
You're
And
still
we're
doing.
like, oh, you got to be patient in the process. How many times? And we still are back to the basics, right? Because it's the simplicity and the basics that groom people. And we're all about grooming people into leadership so that they can spread their wings and fly. One more word of advice: if somebody in your organization, whether you sponsor them or not, and they are flying, please celebrate them. Please send them a personal message saying, "Oh my gosh, you're so amazing, amazing, keep going, I'm so proud of you." Because those people are the ones that will solidify your business, and they deserve to be recognized because they're flying, right? They're spreading their wings. They're becoming amazing, amazing leaders. So celebrate them, and don't be jealous of people. You can build at the level that you can build, and don't look at what anybody else is doing. Just focus on where you're at now, where you need to go, and keep moving and helping other people get there along the way. And you'll get there. You'll see.
So thank you so much for the wonderful feedback, everybody. This was so constructive. Really, really appreciate you all. On Wednesday evening, come in numbers, folks. We're really dedicated to help you grow your business. And I'll ask Joel if he wants to come in as a guest speaker this coming Wednesday to share his thoughts. And there's a lot of exciting things coming. So that's going to be Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Again, if you're not on a Telegram group, I highly recommend in your back office to connect to the Telegram group. And I do recommend for you to participate, to share feedback and comments in there. We really, really invite it. We want to encourage all of you. And there's a lot of folks there that maybe are just silently watching, and they need that external motivation, and we all need them. So I really encourage you to participate, and we love you all. Really appreciate you. And again, thank you for the wonderful, rich comments and very generous comments towards Tammy and I. Appreciate it.
And if you enjoy the training, just put a thumbs up in there so that people
Oh
can,
yeah. If you like the training,
yeah,
folks, just
more people
smash
will
that
see it.
like button, that thumbs up button. What is it? Is it a like button? Whatever it is.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I'm
a
talking
thumbs up.
about.
Yeah.
It just, again, it tells the algorithm to show this to more people, and we increase the GVO channel. Okay.
Yeah.
So have yourself a great rest of weekend, folks. Love you guys. Have a great one. And bye for now.
Have a great weekend.